Greetings, every people. Is this your cult of personality here? ToonKritic's name, Toon's name of my game. You know the deal. Welcome to another thing of Roundtable is Magic, the weekly podcast show where we talk about, episodes from Friendship is Magic. You know the deal by now. So, I am, of course, Toon. You know me. I am joined today by Keyframe Golden Fox.
Deaf to the common cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll actually support that.
Oh, and New Zealand.
Lightning Bliss.
Woman! I defeated my ultra ego and it feels good.
Voice of Reason.
Happy Free Comic Book Day.
Oh yes, that is today.
And also Happy Kentucky Derby, which is currently on right now.
We are broadcasting this live via Twitch, and as always, we have our head chat mod lady type person, Eliora, here.
Meow.
Now, I promised you all that we'd get a special guest for the next episode, and I indeed have delivered. So please welcome on as our special guest for this episode, the fiery Joker, Joshscorcher.
Isn't that Kentucky Derby a very large hat?
What?
What?
You've never seen that Pinky in the Brain episode.
I didn't even hear you.
Yeah,
you
we
were
kind of
5
didn't hear
miles
you.
away from your microphone.
Alright, let me try again. Isn't that Kentucky Derby a very large hat?
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
Promise me one thing, Pinky. Never breed.
I'll try.
Anyway, today's episode, we were recording this Saturday due to, some recording stuff that ended up happening and such. Sorry if I seem out of it. These past 3 days have been interesting. I'll put it at that. Especially this morning. That was, yeah, today's episode is,
Not good.
It's,
I didn't like it.
I loved it.
I loved it!
I thought it was okay.
This is going to be a divisive episode in the
Yeah.
community.
I think I'll let Eliora start us off first, since she has not started one of these first. And you know the rules. We talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, pass onwards, and yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. One thing, yes, very important. One thing, so that everyone gets a free chance to talk about something from the episode.
Well, I guess when I think about what I like about the episode, I liked the fact that the Wonderbolts were pretty much just waiting to bring Rainbow Dash on. They're just like, we were pretty much waiting for a spot to open up so we could bring you in. It feels like nice continuity. Motherfucking
Language, jeez.
It's an airplane! There's an airplane over my house right now!
It's okay. We pardon thee because airplane.
Ah.
I have such an adversarial relationship with these dang airplanes. Maybe that's why I don't like the Wonderbolts anymore.
No. Watch the Blue Angels in action. They make the Wonderbolts look like a
Like a third grade play.
Yeah. But anyways, continue, Ellie.
Well, honestly, it shows that Rainbow Dash really did leave a really positive impression on them. They have learned a couple of things from them, and it's just like, hey, this spot's open. Dash, get in here! I don't know, I just liked it.
Yeah.
And it was also cool to see Rainbow finally get her dream accomplished, you know?
Can I go? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I choose Rainbow Alicorn.
Why can I picture Bliss just bouncing up and down, like waving her arms?
I almost chose anyone but you because you did that.
She's like bouncing on my head so she can have leverage.
Yeah, I almost chose anyone but you because you were doing that.
No, I mean, by far, that was the highlight of the entire episode. I mean, yeah, just following the episode afterwards was kind of like icing on the cake, but the cake itself was just hearing the news. Rainbow Dash, you are a Wonderbolt.
It's about time, too.
So, I mean, and the shock on her face, and then finally seeing her smile, it's like, it's happening. she really has become a. The feeling kind of triggered the feeling I got when I like graduated college. You know, it's like, I did it. I'm out. I'm finally out. Where in her case, she's in. She's finally in. That was the highlight for me, and just following the story here on after was just icing on the cake, and just watching her progress and the story that told afterwards, and the fact that, you know, just because she made it this far and she's basically accomplished her goal, that doesn't mean like her dream is over with and there's nothing for her to do. No, she's gonna have to learn new things now, and yeah. So that was my favorite part of the episode. Huh?
May I go next? You were jumping on my head.
Oh, okay. You can go next. I was jumping on your head. I'm sorry.
Okay. There wasn't much. I'm kind of disappointed in this episode, honestly, like compared to all the other ones. But
Philly
like,
Vanilli syndrome?
not. No, the thing is, I like Philly Vanilli. Honestly, I do. This one was just. I mean, I will say this: it's not Rainbow Falls bad, but the one thing that I did like about the episode was the comedy. Every joke that they made in it, I laughed. I can tell where let's just say this. I could tell where Polsky had the helm. And honestly, I know some people are like cringe central on it, but I couldn't help but laugh at the impersonation jokes, simply because I like the fact that the top of her hair changed to the other characters, and just how her Ashley Ball, God, she needs to get more jokes like that for her and Applejack, because I love how she interprets everyone's voice, and her trying to do Applejack without being Applejack was the funniest thing.
That was incredible. Yeah.
The fact you could hear her dip into Applejack a couple times, but it was so funny. But
Actually, sorry, just a quick interrupt. Actually, you know what that thing reminds me of with Rainbow Dash imitating Applejack? When Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck are imitating each other in the one episode, in that one rabbit season, duck season short, where basically
yeah, but I also love I think my favorite moment in the episode, comedy-wise, was a tie between Pinkie Pie's cotton candy and
The cotton candy was funny.
Pinkie Pie's cotton candy, and how Rainbow Dash's plan effed up at the end. Because I don't know, I just like the part where she has like this somewhat confident stance, being like, "Hey, I didn't die." Goes into the storm cloud and then gets shocked. There's something about seeing the skeleton that fills me with such glee. But
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
this is Rainbow Dash. But yeah, overall, like, if there was something that made me not like, because this episode, it has me split with understanding what they were going for and not liking what was presented, sort of thing.
Yeah.
The comedy, though, I mean, Polsky has a hand in the episode. I know that the jokes are going to be good. So I'm going to pass it on to our guest of the hour, Toon Critic.
Wait, what? I thought you were passing on to Josh for a second there.
That was her.
That was the joke.
That was the joke, Zach. My
That's the thing.
Um,
Keyframe's predictable. She's totally radio.
It's ToonKriticY2K.
Well, I guess. Okay.
I want to struggle.
No.
What did
Look.
I say? It's Critic.
No, look, I'm fine. Listen, the thing about this episode, I'm really happy for it. I'm glad that Dash is finally in the Wonderbolts. That is a dream that has been there since the beginning, and like 5 seasons later, we get to see that finally culminate. And I think it's more. Oh God, why can I not talk today? Okay, no, I get what I wanted to say. I think it's more that now that she's finally in there, now that she has achieved her dream, it sort of feels like what they did with Rarity when she finally achieved her dream. But I don't know. I think this episode showed to me that everything comes with a price, and that all the stuff that ended up happening. I'll cover that later, but I didn't really have that many problems with this episode. I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought there were some really great parts to it, and with what happened with Rainbow Dash, I don't see a problem with it. I think what happened was natural, so I'm gonna pass it on to our guest, Josh.
Okay. Yes, I beyond loved this episode. It didn't quite redeem the Wonderbolts for me, and I don't think until we get like 2 or 3 more good episodes featuring the Wonderbolts is that it's going to redeem for me. And it definitely didn't redeem the military for me. Absolutely not. We're going to need an episode for the Royal Guard, but I loved how it gave us a... It talked about how people in the military kind of express their love for each other very differently than other people. It's a lot of things we do in the military don't really make sense to a lot of the people outside of it. And when we try to explain it, we really can't. It just works for reasons that we don't we don't even understand. We just do it, and we just say esprit de corps or something like that. It just works. And the name calling, yeah, I remember the name calling, and it was there. I remember my own nicknames, and yeah, it was a lot of great nicknames. They were given to me out of love. It's a lot of the aggression, a lot of the people, Marines, military, we show each other endearment very oddly.
The way you keep dancing around it, now I'm dying to know what your nicknames were.
I want to know. Can you
I want to know how you got the Booger and Burger nicknames.
Because my last name is Burner. And then people think they're being clever when I scratch my nose or eat a burger or
not really
something
creative.
else.
That's just pitiful.
Listen,
Dude, I come
no.
up with better nicknames on the fly.
If you're gonna insult someone, be creative.
Nicknames. Trust me. The thing about nicknames is that you're supposed to hate them.
You know what that reminds me of? Just saying. It reminds me of the scene from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs where Amy Schumer's character or whatever is telling the story of when she was bullied in school for being a nerd, and the kids were saying, four eyes, you require glasses to see it, just how not creative that was.
I spilled wasabi on my shirt one time!
Yeah, for Big Hero 6.
That's pretty much it. It's like, I remember a guy who had the nickname Nunchucks, and he hated the name because he felt that there was so many other things that he could have been called, and of all the things it was Nunchucks, and he hated it because it wasn't even his. He said a friend back home, his favorite character was Orange, and Michelangelo wears orange, and he is his Nunchucks. It's like, what?
Oh,
wow, that's a stretch.
That's a real big stretch.
That's why he hated the nick, and that's the thing about nicknames. You're supposed to hate them.
Yeah, I had a nickname in my theater group called Scale, and it was because we were doing a production of Cinderella, and the director kept saying, all you guys together don't match Chrissy, because I had the most stage presence, so everyone called me Scale because I was the scale they had to balance out to me, and I'm just like...
A sense of jealousy?
No, I'm just like, for the longest time, I thought they were calling me a lizard.
I remember I got one nickname, and it was when I was in one class of theater arts, and then I never took theater arts again, and it was Rumple.
Were you doing
the reason why
Rumple?
they called me, it was short for Rumpelstiltskin, because that was the part I had to play in a class theater, and when I signed up for the part, I didn't want to be Rumpelstiltskin. I just asked, could I just be the little handmaiden that helps out the princess or something? You know, it's not a huge role. I wasn't asking to be the star of the show. They're like, no, you're not feminine enough to be a girl. You have too deep voice and you're ugly. You're gonna be Rumpelstiltskin.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Are you serious?
It was pretty hurtful.
When I ran cross country back in high school, I was given the nickname Bojangles because my running style was so erratic when I was a freshman, and it kind of just like stuck all the way to senior year.
Guys, we've gone way off topic here.
Yeah, let's try to get back on. Josh, is there anything you want to
I
add?
can't share mine.
Oh.
Okay, let's let Golden go.
My last name is Thornbury. People kept asking me if I talked to animals or not, and it got to the point where my name was misspelled in the yearbooks.
Well, you can show you complain now, because now you're the Fluttershy of the group, so you need to talk to Adam.
Oh no! I am not going to make that comparison. I'm not buying into that.
Anyway, who do you pass it off to next, Josh?
Golden.
Dash is a Wonderbolt, finally. That's all I can say.
That's the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got nothing good to say about this episode.
Oh boy.
Pass me a Mountain Dew. I need another brownie juice.
For the rage flame.
Anyways.
Oh, good. I've been waiting on some refills for some brony tears.
Well, Boyce needs to say something first on the positive factor. What do you got, Boyce?
Okay. Well, one thing I absolutely loved in this episode was the animation. The flying formation was absolutely beautiful.
Amen. That was awesome.
One of the best things. Although, one thing I will say, I sort of mentioned this on Twitter. Toon, you may agree with me. The first thing I thought of when the whole Dash is being called up to the Wonderbolts, and we have great expectations for you, is like, this is an NXT call-up to the main roster of WWE.
Yeah, pretty much. You're bringing up someone from there, bringing them to the big leagues, and Dash.
And then you bought your entrance, Sin Cara.
Yeah, no, I was thinking more of Dash as like Tyler Breeze in this case. Great expectations. What are you doing now?
Doing something with Gold Dust.
I guess. Anyway, continue.
Whatever.
Did we get through everyone?
That's everybody, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe we did.
Yeah,
so
I'll save what I have to say for last, so.
Can I start with my negatives?
God,
sure.
Here we go.
Oh, this is okay. I think this is just a preface to say to the people in the chat, the people to the call, the people in the world, is that at the end of the day, this is a show. This is a cartoon, so we shouldn't get too angry at it, because there's a lot of other things we could be angry about. But either way, I said
filming quietly over there, isn't he?
No.
It's not my turn yet. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm still eating now. I'm just taking a break. But this is the first episode of season 6 that I genuinely dislike. Not hate. I don't hate it. I mean, I will say that On Your Marks bored me, which I guess is a sin in and of itself. But this is the first episode I genuinely disliked. And I think I dislike it for the fact that I could see where they were going for. I could see a lot of the things they were going for, because I grew up with a family full of military people. My uncle was, a naval officer and all that stuff. So I understand the basic decorum and how the characters are supposed to act and stuff, so I get that. But the big thing that I feel like if they just did not have that as part of the episode, it could have been a lot better. The flashback back to when Rainbow was a filly.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, okay, if it was a simple thing of embarrassment and her gaining the nickname, okay, fine. However, when you put, and yes, the name is a callback to the Rainbow Crash nickname from Cutie Mark Chronicles. I get that. However, the fact that you put such an emotional attachment to the nickname, and then you see, the bullies calling her that, and then you realize probably not long after she gained that cutie mark for flight and everything, it's just like you put an emotional attachment on that name that just puts it past embarrassment, when embarrassment was all that you needed, and it would have made it more understandable. And would have put Rainbow Dash in a different light to be like, okay, so yeah, maybe she's overreacting a bit that she's getting this nickname. But the fact that this is a nickname that has such a deep root inside of her, and it's not just a silly nickname to her, that's what I feel like if they just took that away, it would have been a lot more understandable to a lot of people who don't have the basic knowledge of how terms of endearment with the military is. And just saying, I didn't like the nicknames thing in general. I know that was supposed to be what sparks the conflict in the episode. But honestly, if the Wonderbolts were going to be like, hey, we need to focus on this routine and everything, and you could see with a naked eye how much of a detriment the nickname was to Dash and the entire team, because it was making her not focus on the routine. When you don't have a show in 2 days, then you can focus on your little hazing game. But don't do it when you are supposed to make sure that she focuses and concentrates. It just seems like the entire everything just seems so skewed, and it makes me mad because the ideas that they have were good, but it feels like they just mashed them together without much thought behind like how things can affect certain other things. And I don't know. I wanted to like this episode because there are concepts that I like, but how they presented it just really, really got to me in a negative way. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. I mean, the part of what I see, what you're talking about, is that in the past when she was a villain, they called her Rainbow Crash. It's in that former flashbacks that never got to her because hey, she got her cutie mark and doing a rain boom. She didn't care if they called her Rainbow Crash. It didn't bug her that much. But I can see that if the Wonderbolts, her idols, started calling her that, it's not just the name itself, it's just the embarrassment. And yeah, that could have worked out fine if they just kept calling her Crash and she was embarrassed by it. But why did it have to be an inner child acuity? Why did it have to be like why did it have to be a childhood horror for her? Because it wasn't previously, and now they're making it look like it is.
And yeah, because you see the Philly Dash at like the point of tears, and you see adult Dash at the point of tears when she saw that jacket and she was closing the locker. It's like obviously this has some sort of like effect on her, and it's just like the fact that she's making these mistakes, especially during the flight thing where she was like. Where Spitfire called her Crash, it's obvious she didn't like it because the other Wonderbolts heard it, and then she made a mistake because she was so focused on being called Crash that it's just like, what the hell are you guys thinking if you guys really want this show to be good because you're doing a show that people probably paid money for? Your priority should be concentrate first and then give her the nickname when there's training for a show that could be longer away. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Okie dokie.
All right.
But yeah, that's what I didn't like. I'm going to move it on to not Golden. I'm moving it on to. I need the room to chill a little bit before we get to you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm giving you a kiss. And you're gonna get a cold too. I'm gonna pass it on to Eliora.
Said you wanted the room to cool, so let's pass it on to the pyro.
Yep.
Well, don't you have air blast?
Yes, but all they're gonna do here is fan the flames. Because actually, I was hoping you would pick me, because my point is going to flow quite well off of what you were saying.
Okay, let's go.
The Wonderbolts suck!
Yep.
Explain.
Right. Okay, very clearly, early on, we just had the Wonderbolts on a pedestal. forgot that they're ponies. We expected all this amazing things from them. They're jerks, and it's like they knew that some of them obviously knew that the nickname was bothering Dash, but none of them explained that they all have embarrassing nicknames. It's like you could have probably saved yourselves a lot of trouble and spared a bit of pain on Rainbow's part for all those like injuries she suffered after crashing like that.
Oh, you know why they didn't do that? Plot convenience.
Yeah, and that's not okay. The Wonderbolts suck. I don't like them anymore. I mean, as individual characters, they're okay, but as a group, it's just like it's the same problem with them that I often have with like the pony crowd, the character of the crowd in Ponyville. It's like we are what the plot needs us to be, and in this case, as it was in Rainbow Falls, jerks.
It's sad that Soren, which to me is the best character inside of the Wonderbolts, he's at his best when he's either the leader when Spitfire isn't around, or is completely separate from them. Because he was the best character in Rainbow Falls, and it's just like Spitfire sucks. Let's just say that Spitfire is the worst.
That makes me wonder what her nickname was that they had to whisper it.
I think it was Spit. Like
I said Streak.
Spitfire.
Spitfire.
I just don't.
I'm pretty sure there was a curse word in there somewhere.
I'm pretty sure too.
It doesn't.
Also, this is a minor nitpick. Did Fleetfoot talk with a lisp the last time we saw her?
Yes.
I don't remember. I must be remembering.
Yeah, Fleetfoot has a lisp.
Color.
The nickname is just so. The thing is that the parent. Just saying, like the only nickname we heard during the entire thing that wasn't Crash was Clipper. And it's just like, okay, if you wanted to establish everyone has nicknames, do more than just one. And also, you have people calling Spitfire Boss, so we assume that's her nickname. So it's just like, why is everyone else called by their normal name, but Soren and Rainbow are the only two that get called nicknames? It just doesn't make sense. Ugh.
Anyway, that's. I know I have another point that I could make, but I know full well that Fox is going to make it. So why don't we roll on over to him?
Okay, Brett, have your fun.
Let me put it this way. If a scene makes me cringe so bad that I have to fast forward, that's a problem. I haven't had that issue since Equestria Games with the Spike Anthem. Here, I'm sorry, babe, but the scene where Dash was impersonating the main six, I had to pause every 5 seconds to catch my breath out of utter frustration of, Dash, no, this isn't going to work. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop. I need a pause. By the time she was about to impersonate Rarity, that was it. I fast forward.
Rarity was the best one.
I didn't bother because all the other ones are just like, they're all complete screw-ups. I can see from a mile away. It's utterly embarrassing. It's going to be damaging to your reputation. Just, Dash, what are you doing? That's it. I was done. I'm just like, fast forward that scene and just continue onward. I haven't had an issue like that since Equestria Games. And if I have to fast forward through something, they're taking it too far. That's pretty much my claim there. I hated that scene. And that scene alone just made me hate the rest of the episode because this is an episode we're supposed to take her matters seriously, and Dave Polsky once again throws the humor in the wrong places.
Okay, well, just saying, because I don't like the episode, babe, but still, you shouldn't let one scene destroy a whole episode for you. Just saying. But, like, I understand why you don't. You and mine sense of humor are completely different. Keep in mind, I loved Spike's Anthem.
I hated that scene.
Yeah, but you're also a psychopath, K-Frame.
Yes,
fight,
and that's why I love me.
Fight.
You want a couple to fight?
Just kidding.
No, because, the thing is that sometimes even a single scene in an entire episode can affect me because that scene is supposed to play a role in something, and if it's taken in such a way, it almost feels either contradictory or something so misplaced that it almost feels like the rest of the episode is misplaced. And that's the same issue I had with the Equestria Games, so not including the false advertising.
You let Spike's Anthem ruin the rest of Equestria Games?
Actually, yes, because we're supposed to take Spike seriously and have feelings for him, but then he assumes that he lights fire with his mind and makes a fool out of himself. It just makes me turn away and not really get invested into him.
Okay.
That's my problem.
Don't hit the table. The microphone's on the table. But is that all you had to say? Are you okay now?
Yes.
Who do you pass it on to?
I'll pass it on to Josh.
Come here,
I was
baby.
gonna go
I
there
love
because
you.
he was complaining about it while he was watching it.
All right, well, let's see. What didn't I like about the episode?
One thing.
Honestly, but there's not really anything I didn't like about the episode. I suppose I'd have to say the thing I liked the least was the intro. Is just kind of,
Just there.
Drop in, by the way, you're a Wonderbolt now.
Yeah, it's just that's the sort of thing that you bring a person to the desk, or you send them a letter, and it's just okay. That's kind of big news to drop on someone when you don't. That's pretty big news to drop on someone just randomly in the middle of the day. You gotta. That's usually something you say. Hey, report to my office. That's just kind of confused me. But yeah, that's really my only complaint with the episode. And if we're being picky, it's the cringe scene didn't make me the acting scene. It didn't make me laugh too hard, but it didn't make me cringe either.
Okay, who do you pass this off to?
Toon.
No, I'll pass. Go ahead, Bliss.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
He said he was saving his for last.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. My bad. Okay. Yeah. Golden Box pretty much already pointed out my biggest hate of the episode because I felt it was kind of cringe worthy, but then there were parts where I actually chuckled because it's like, oh my god, Ashley Ball is pretending to be Ashley Ball. It's awesome. But my negative here, I suppose, is where Rainbow Dash gets this ballsy idea to sidestep the Wonderbolts during their big performance. Like at the very end, she was going to do something really epic and basically upstaging them. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, we kind of went through this about upstaging others, and bragging and looking at all of that. I know that's because she was embarrassed that they were calling her Crash, and she wanted to do something really epic so they'll take her more seriously and quit calling her that. But this, I felt, was not the right way for her character to deal with that, because basically it felt like she was reverting back to her old ways and I am all that, and I'm going to show them I'm all that by upstaging them at the performance the next day. And I'm kind of face planting and going, no, that's not how we're supposed to do it. But to which, karma backfires. Karma smacks. Yeah, I can't make English today. Karma slaps her in the face, and she gets in trouble for it, obviously. To which kind of left with a good moral that I liked. But yeah, the whole time I'm thinking, oh, come on, Rainbow Dash, don't go back to the Mare duel and stuff like that. Please don't do that again. Yeah, Boise.
Okay, well, not a negative, but I will say this: the mention of Soren's nickname Clipper. He clipped his wing on a flagpole. That was the first callback to Rainbow Falls that I actually liked. Because
I don't think the thing was, I don't think it was a callback to Rainbow Falls because he said that he got it on his first day of training.
Right, but the fact that he also clipped his wing again when when he was distracted by the two cheerleaders on the ground, okay, so that connects to the whole Clipper thing. Continuity from an episode I hate that I actually liked. But but in terms of things that I didn't like, again, pretty much talked about everything, the cringe part during the second act, and also Rainbow Dash breaking formation for the sake of her ego. But I will say that I'm actually glad that Rainbow Dash did get reprimanded. Again, the whole month probation for her insubordination. I was actually okay with that, because she kind of messed up the whole routine by the end of it. I'm sort of unsure of how to talk about the moral of the episode. Like, I know, like, earlier in the day we were Sketchy and British Ninja were having, like, a debate about how you interpret the moral of this episode. I'm sort of, I guess I'm split on it as well. For one thing, like, what I think was, like, Sketchy had an argument, is like, oh, like, learn to swallow your pride for the sake of the team, versus teasing is okay, from British Ninja. So I'm sort of kind of split down the middle of that, of how to interpret the moral. It's not really a negative, but it's just something that I need to think about for a little bit. So
well, if I had to choose, I would pick Swallow Your Pride. That would be a better one, in my opinion. But
I mean, that's why my point earlier was that they had ideas, but, like, they were presented. Because the thing is that that's what I saw too. I saw what Ninja saw. It just seems like they presented it in such a way that it's just like, yeah, I can see why people would interpret that the message would be, oh, teasing's okay. Because, yeah, the way that they presented it to kind of have that vibe to it. But
But that's, like, between friends or close team members. Like, we tease each other all the time. Like, Jim calls me short stack or short stuff, you know. But that's when you're friends. This is not when you're the first newbie of a team.
However, with how the entire team was treating Rainbow Dash since day one, and there wasn't any scenes that showed them treating her, you know, like a friend off the field or anything.
Like bullying.
It didn't seem like, because just saying, that was something that I didn't respect, was just like, why is it that, like, I understand that on the field and everything, they have to act a certain way, it's training, but when they're off the field, when they're off duty, I was surprised to see Soren or Spitfire not have any sense of Soren Spitfire or Spitfire Recolor having any sort of camaraderie towards Dash, because it's like they know Dash. Dash saved their hides more than once. It was weird seeing them not even be concerned with how she's acting, because they should know her at that point, that's not her usual self. And like the other Wonderbolt's fine. She probably hasn't had extended interaction with them, but not with the main three bolts, especially Soren and Spitfire. She's not close enough to the other team members that it seems okay for them to treat her the way she did, especially that one orange and white one, or orange and yellow.
Wasn't it with the yellow and blue-ish mane?
The one that had like that weird like Valley Girl lisp, like, that was brutal.
Okay, I've been counting. Zach has sighed like 10 times since we started streaming, so I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
you're up.
I think it's it until
Well, you know. Okay, how about I start it off like this? How about that basically all of the abuse that Rainbow Dash had was justified? How about I go with that reverse psychology, in a sense, is actually helpful to some people. If you bully someone, it'll, motivate them to work harder and focus better. No, it's going to put them down. It's going to, put their ego into the ground. It's going to put their self-esteem into the ground. But who cares? You're going to motivate them to do the job, because that's what they're supposed to do. You know what? I can't keep this up anymore. I hated this episode. I hated it. I can't enjoy this episode fully. And I've tried to. I watched it again. I tried to just get behind it. I'm happy for Rainbow Dash getting into the Wonderbolts. But you know what that price is? All of this hazing. All this bullying. All this bull that she has to go through. And I was watching this, and I had this big smile on my face, because I've been waiting for this episode. I've been waiting, because I have a close personal connection with this character. And I know, it's just a cartoon, but whatever. I care about this character. I've watched this character grow. I've watched this character fall. I've watched this character go up and down all over the place. Now it comes to this moment. And you know what? It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't going to be all happy sunshines. Hooray, I'm in the Wonderbolts. Hooray, I'm in the Wonderbolts. Oh, all this happened.
I'm in the Wonderbolts.
Listen. I know that I can't keep this up. I know I can't try to like be as straightforward as I can on this because that's considered overreacting. It's just a kids show. It's just a character. But
no, I completely agree with you, because the thing is that if this is the message and everything that they're presenting to kids, it's dangerous.
You mean to tell me that if you want to be a part of this, that in order for it to work, you have to haze this person? Oh, hey, all that hazing, we were just messing with you. Come on in. You were tough enough. That is the big... I know this is a PG stream, but this is the biggest bullshit I have ever heard. I went through all of that in high school. I know everyone says, oh, yeah, high school, that was fun, right? I had my own little experiences. Oh, I had a cute nickname. I didn't have that. I was bullied constantly for 4 straight years in high school by people that I thought I trusted, and all that hazing, all that bull that they tried to put into me, it was lies. It was all lies. All that stuff. So when I finally see this character go through basically the same exact thing that I went through, I hated this episode. I hated that in order for her to finally get what she wants, they have to do this to her. I mean, I guess in the end, hey, guess what? I'm a Wonderbolt. Doesn't matter. I got hazed. I went through all this. I'm a Wonderbolt. Yeah, good for you. Good for you, Rainbow Dash.
No, yeah, and I totally agree with where you're coming from. Especially their explanation at the end, because it's just like, so this is just to help exemplify your point. It's like the explanation at the end that it's just like that they're trying to justify all the BS that they put her through with complimenting. That's just such it's such an abuser thing to do. It's just like, oh, we're going to insult you and never let you let go of these problems, but we'll still compliment you on all your accolades. It's like, yes, I get there's a certain decorum that people have to go through in that kind of setting. I mean, she is a newly enlisted member, but the fact is, and they say it at the end of the episode, which makes me angrier, she is Rainbow Dash. She saved the world and their hides on personal levels
respect
multiple times.
All of the stuff that she's been through.
Don't treat her like you don't even know her, especially off the clock. Because it's like, you know what? I understand if you want to treat her equally as everyone else, because this is a group where you have to be uniform and everything. I get that. However, they didn't treat her equally, because we never saw the other Wonderbolts, except for the one mentioned to Clipper, that they treated them with any nicknames or any kind of attitude towards that. They all had this air of superiority to them that made the entire point that they were trying to exemplify of, oh, we do this to each other all the time, mean absolutely zilch. And it's just the feeling. I can see totally where you're coming from, because that's the kind of stuff that I went through, and it didn't seem like hazing from a military, because like I said, I have family in the military, and they did stuff similar to this, but at a much lesser level that didn't cause a detriment and harm to people. It was just silly nicknames. But this, as we saw multiple examples in the episode, caused a detriment to the progress of the group, the formation, and to Rainbow herself. Rainbow
was physically injured because she was so distracted by these nicknames.
If I may.
Because she was so distraught.
If I may.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
The feeling that I get from this episode is bittersweet. And the feeling that I get seeing Rainbow Dash finally get this, the way she acted in this episode. She didn't learn anything. Throughout all the stuff that she's been through, all the lessons to learn to be humble, to learn to be, I'm not the best in the world, I can just focus on being myself, not showboating, not going over with their ego. Yeah, hey, Toon, that's why you're late here so much. Yeah, I know.
I disagree. I strongly disagree. She did learn something this episode. She learned how to not take. She learned how to not take an insult like that so personally. She learned to look for the intention behind something. She learned a sense of camaraderie that not all terms of endearment, not all actions of endearment are pretty much, hey, let's go hang out, because you can also be nasty and you can also be nasty while using nice words. I mean, and it also stands to reason that you can also be nice while using nasty words. I believe the trope is called vitriolic best buds. And yeah, Keyframe did touch on this, is that there's a lot of things that in the military that don't make sense to a lot of people outside the military. A lot of times, and we like to refer to this as the mothers of America, when they hear about these things and when they see these things in the that go on in the military, they're like, "Oh, my baby boy! You can't do that to my baby boy! We want a kinder, gentler recruit training. We want a kinder, gentler military. Oh!" And that kind of attitude has really, really limited the effectiveness of the military. It's like when we get people who, and we're basically letting in people, we're promoting this behavior that if you have a problem, if you have like a small problem with something, then everyone else has to just back off. Don't have to explain any of my reasoning. If my feelings are a little bit hurt, or if I'm mildly uncomfortable, I just don't have to argue anything. All of a sudden you have to back off, and that's something that progressively got worse throughout my time in the military. And I even tried it a couple times. I said, "Oh no, don't do that. That actually makes me feel a little uncomfortable. It actually kind of hurts my feelings." And then they said, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Seriously, man? I was joking." And
yeah,
but this is the thing, and it's like, it's sort of the line. It's just like this. At the end of the day, I know that because I get it. This thing has some sort of a representative in the military, but the thing is, with the younger generation that is watching the show, I don't think a lot of them. There is an amount, but not all of them are at that age where they're going to be like, "Hey, I want to go into the military." It's like outside of the whole thing of this being like somewhat of a somewhat being true to how people act in there. There is very, very little that you can really take away into a real life perspective. Because I know that if you acted like that to people in a school setting or in an outside setting, people are not going to take it as lightly as they are. The military and
They never said that. They never said that. The episode never said to act like that to people. They said that Rainbow Dash is finally a Wonderbolt. She's finally part of an exclusive group. So the thing is, kids are smart. Kids aren't that stupid.
I'm not saying kids are stupid, Josh. I'm saying that there's something that the message here could be skewed really badly.
That depends completely on how you take it.
Can I say something?
Oh.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have a military in my, well, I guess if you exclude my grandfather, my father worked on military weapons engineering. My point being, my father was really, really hard on us kids, and name calling was part of his tough love. And that if I got, like, say, a C on my report card, for instance, he's like, without trying to dub this as PG as best I could, "You're not an idiot, you're not stupid, suck it up, Buttercup, and do better, because a C is not going to be tolerated in this house." And, yeah, I mean, it was harsh. Some people would say that's not parenting, but it made me tougher, and it made me push for better, and to not really just prove him wrong, but to really better myself. And, you know, a part of me feels like that's kind of what the Wonderbolts were doing to Rainbow Dash, and that's kind of what I saw at first glance. But again, this was because of how I was raised. Not everybody is raised that way.
If you can't handle a little name calling in like a military group, then you're in the wrong occupation.
Well, that's why I kind of wish that Rainbow would have. You know, the thing is that if that's the type of
Thank you.
Quoting Rainbow Dash, if that's the type of behavior that they presented in the Wonderbolts, and if they didn't show, that's the thing that I say again, they shouldn't have shown that stupid flashback showing the emotional attachment to that nickname. If they didn't do that, then it would have been a lot better.
I don't know. I found that actually helped her because I felt it helped her like accept it. It helped her go above it because what if she was called Rainbow Crash during like another moment that wasn't so, shall we say, dangerous? What if she? That's the thing. It's supposed to toughen you up. If you do this, if you don't stamp out those weaknesses before they come at you in a life-threatening situation, then that's a problem. That's why a lot of times we like to. That's why we crack down on a lot of things before they become a problem. Because in a combat situation, or in like a rescue situation, or in a dangerous situation, you can't have that. You cannot have that. If an ISIL guy starts calling you nasty things, saying, "Oh, you're evil. You should all die." And if you can't stand that, if you can't take that, then you shouldn't be a soldier. You shouldn't.
But that's
Guys.
someone that's not on your team.
Guys,
Wrap it up.
We kind of got to wrap it up. We're almost like at an hour. We try to keep these under an hour.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. You are going with good points. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. Rainbow Dash is no longer my favorite.
Ouch.
Oh, is that why you're upset?
Because every time that I say that Rainbow Dash is my favorite, that I'm proud that she's my favorite, the fandom completely disagrees. I'm in that very tiny minority that actually likes Rainbow Dash. And just to see, I wanted this episode to say, ha, guess what? She developed. She got better. She's proving everybody wrong. And instead, screwed up so bad that now people have even more of a reason to dislike her. So you know what? I'm done. I can't believe I'm saying this, but yes, this is Rainbow Dash is moving down to number 2.
Oh, I don't
Who's
know.
number one?
This actually made me like Rainbow Dash more, but.
Anyway,
Well, I think the big thing is, just to finish up, I think the thing is just people with different experiences. This is a very polarizing episode because there's different people who have different experiences. There are people who see this from the perspective of someone who's seen the kind of stuff that, has a real life reflection in the Wonderbolts like you have, Josh. But there's other people who have seen, who relate to it on different factors because of other experiences. And I think the big thing, just to say to the chat, is that neither opinion is wrong. It's just how you take it.
Yeah, it's like Key and me when we were discussing a while back with Do Princess Dream Magic Sheep. We were talking about I created the Tantabus line, and we were discussing if we were to take that line out, would the episode improve, get better, or nothing would change? You think it actually got worse if you took that line out. I thought it would actually improve.
Yeah, and it's just
something
different.
like that.
It's just different life experiences can dictate how you feel, and that's with every episode, but especially with an episode like this. So don't think that we're saying either opinion is wrong. We're just saying that it's different.
we need to put this in the ranking, by the way. Josh, we have here a guest ranking. I believe it's my girlfriend Sega's sister has given us a Roundtable Magic ranking system for everyone. By the way, just shoot her a thing on Google Drive, and you can and she'll give you like access to edit. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm gonna put this episode personally at number 6. I still think this was better than No Second Prances. So
I'm going to put this at the bottom. The thing is, I want to put this at either the bottom or the second bottom because I'm trying to think. At least this episode made me feel a strong emotion, which is something I can't say about On Your Marks.
That's pretty much how I felt. This is the first episode, and I don't know how many seasons it actually got me that hit home, and I think it hit home a little too hard.
Yeah. I put this one at 4th just because, like, even though I'm just kind of indifferent towards it, I didn't really have any like strong emotional attachment, and I understood the idea behind the episode very well. And again, like I mentioned earlier with the NXT thing being called up to the main roster, like, okay, I see what you did there. That's kind of clever. And again, I would take it over, again, no second Francis and on your marks. Because it didn't feel as big of an insult as those bottom 2 episodes, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
I put mine at number 3 because, I mean, again, I think this episode actually helped me to relate to Rainbow Dash because I know I have experienced tough love and a bit of name calling here and there from my own father figure and even school at one point or another. And I kind of liked the Wonderbolts a little bit better here because I knew what they were doing. It wasn't because they were trying to be hurtful, in my opinion. I felt they were trying to just toughen her up and let her know that, yeah, you're not a rookie anymore. You're in the big boys now, so you got to be a little more responsible for yourself. And that's what I took from this episode, really.
All right.
I'm putting it at 6. This kind of sucked, and so did the Wonderbolts.
Josh, what about you?
I'd honestly put it at about a 2 or a 1. I know it's kind of tied for me with the Gauntlet of Fire.
Okay.
Because I just felt there's just so much stuff that I saw that represented not only my own experiences in the military, but honestly, I pretty much went exactly through what Rainbow Dash went through in this episode, and that kind of makes that episode mean a lot to me.
Yeah, same. And I don't relate to Rainbow Dash that well, and this is the first time I actually did.
Absolutely not.
And even then, my ego is greater than the sun right now, and hers has become completely subdued. And what the heck is going on?
No, I'm just looking at the chat because some people are putting their own ratings. I just realized No Second Prince's anagram is NSP, and that makes me happy.
Are we all done? Are we all good with our rankings?
Yep.
Actually, wait, did Golden say how he would rank it?
Oh yeah, Golden, what would you rank this episode?
Bottom.
Number 6.
Yeah, complete bottom. This episode was trash. It makes me cringe to fast forward and skip. It's a problem.
You know what?
Your waifu is trash.
I'm sorry, what, Josh?
Wait, are you calling me trash?
Oh God.
Oh God.
Josh, what did you say?
No, it's nothing. It's nothing. Okay.
Josh said.
It's something.
Josh said your waifu is trash.
Wow.
He's joking, dearie. He's joking. You are trash, but you're my trash.
And this is why I don't belong in the military.
Anyway, with that being said, join us next weekend for when we discuss the next episode. Not going to say what it is because I know some people would prefer things to be spoiler-free, but given... I know, but given the synopsis for it, which I looked into, this should be interesting. Anyway.
Will it make you feel better than what this episode has?
I want to apologize for things during the stream. I know there's been weird things flashing here and there. I have no idea why that's been happening.
I tried to get a screen capture, but I couldn't.
I'm going to go look back and see what it was, but I know it's been... I don't know. I've just been seeing these weird hashtags lately, and I don't know what to make of them. Anyway.
Actually, can I do the ending question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Good.
So, there was a question on Twitter posted by Josh Haber. What do you think Spitfire's cringeworthy nickname is?
Oh boy, that should be interesting.
Oh God.
My thought is it's Streak, because the reason she got that nickname, she flew so fast that her uniform came undone.
I'm sorry, what?
Awkward.
She flew so fast her uniform came off, so it's like streaking.
Well, ponies are naturally naked, so it's...
What's your username and...
I know,
Yes, say your username, password, and social security number out loud, Golden Fox.
Oh dear. Anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for being here. We will see you.
Oh, and if you guys made it this far, type in the comments, "Make America Key Again."
Key, really.
Yes, indeed.
You know, I would take you over what we're going to have, so... Anyway, thank you guys for being here. We will see you all next week. And also, yes, thank you, Josh, by the way, for coming on.
You're welcome.
I think we broke him. I think I broke him.
Yeah, we broke him. He's dead, Jim.
What did you say in the chat that made him break?
See you guys next week.
Okay, bye.